In this video, I wanted to give everybody some good news. Some of you have probably heard by now about the successful unionization vote that took place in Buffalo, New York at one of the Starbucks locations there. So as of now, Starbucks has a union in their company. Congratulations to those Starbucks workers in Buffalo. My hat's off to them. They did the right thing. Starbucks corporate did apparently try to bust up this unionization effort. It failed. Wonderful. I'm really happy for these people. I hope they succeed in getting what they want. Now, after having said that, I think it also proves that this Amazon incident in Bessemer, Alabama, it's not just the fact that Amazon is infinitely wealthier than Starbucks and more powerful, but also it's a cultural barrier. In the South, they're very traditional, I would say. They believe in the divine hierarchy. They really don't understand full-blown democracy as much as some of us do. But I'm not trying to put them down when I say that. I'm trying to be as objective as I can about this. They're very traditional. They believe in tradition. They believe that things should revolve around a hierarchy. It's just the way they think. So it's a lot easier in a place like that to destroy a unionization effort. But a lot of those people were strong-armed. They were misled, propagandized, threatened even. And there is an ongoing investigation into the union-busting efforts of Amazon. They could be getting into trouble for it, but that remains to be seen, of course. So I hope that other companies around the country learn from Starbucks and learn from Amazon. They start really trying to steamroll these greedy employers and all these shareholders and executives. But I also wanted to bring up something else. And that is, of course, an issue that I really want to talk about a lot more often, and that is worker co-ops. For those who don't know, a worker cooperative is a democratic workplace. It's a place whereby employees are also the employers. They democratically decide how to run the company, what to produce, how to produce it, where to produce it, when to produce it, and what to do with the profits, most importantly. Because in a traditional business arrangement, workers have no say in how the profits are distributed. They put in the labor, they produce the profits by, finishing the product, and then the boss distributes it for sale, or the employees get the sales on the floor if you're a retail environment. But they have no say over the profits that they produce with their labor. That makes no sense, does it? That doesn't sound like these people are free or liberated in any meaningful sense. So a worker cooperative gives them this freedom and this liberation because they don't have to listen to a boss now. Now they have to democratically discuss all these things and come to the conclusions and then move forward with them. And as far as the arrangement of management and the corporate office, if it has one, those people are elected in a worker co-op, and they are directly accountable to the workers. In theory, it's supposed to be just like the way our system of government is supposed to work, but we don't even have that anymore. Nowadays we have an oligarchy and a corporatocracy, but that's for another discussion. So I think that that's a good model to follow, and we do have some in this country. Ocean Spray might be the one that I know the most about. We do have some others. I hear most of them are on the West Coast, but I'll look further into that. But I think that workers should be making more of an effort in this moment, not just to try to unionize against greedy employers, but also to form worker co-ops in the event that they fall short in those efforts. And let's say, an employer succeeds in firing all of them and they lose their job and they have no chance of fighting it in court or whatever, or getting a settlement. Form a worker co-op. Stick it to them. Show them you don't need them. Okay? One thing that unionizing in a capitalist environment does is it tells the employer that workers still need them and that they just want to get more from them for their work. They count on it, right? It shows a lack of freedom, a lack of liberty, a lack of professional autonomy in some way. So Forming a worker co-op basically means we don't need your greedy ass. We don't need your little shareholding holders or anything like that. And we can have a successful economy without a few wealthy oligarchs. Totally possible. And the second point on that I want to get to is a way that if a traditional company is going to close somewhere or they can't reach an agreement with workers, here's what they can do instead of just firing them and throwing them out into the cold. They can sit the workers down at the table and come to an agreement where the employer will help the employees transfer over to their own company, their own worker co-op. So it's in a period of time, 1 to 2 years typically. So you have a period of time, the workers decide what they want to do democratically, they come to a conclusion, they present it to the employer and say, here's what we want, and the employer will say, okay, I want to leave and go and head for greener pastures, as it were. How can we help one another get to our goals? That's what this is about. So what they do is they effectively come up with a financial arrangement between themselves, the workers and the employer. We invest here to, boost things for the company as it is now, make more profits for the company, but we're also going to invest some into rolling things over so that you, the workers, can become your own company, as I, the employer, head for the hills. So this is an arrangement where the employer is actually, in a way, creating a competitor if it's the same field, but it doesn't have to be the same field. Let's say you're a Walmart and you want to close down. The workers don't want to lose their jobs. Well, what you do is you go to the workers and say, I want to leave. You all can democratically decide what you want to do as I head out, as whoever owns that particular location, that Walmart, and say, okay, we decide on, okay, do we want to be a department store? Not really. Maybe we want to be, say, a thrift shop. Or maybe we want to be a restaurant. Okay? Well, then the Walmart would say, okay, we're gonna continue to pay you until we head out, and we're going to help you transfer over to your new work environment as we leave. That way, we as Walmart still make money on the back end. You guys are starting to make money heading into your new venture. Nobody's hurt. It's just a great way to run an economy where it's not about using people as cogs in a machine or tools in a toolbox. It's a very human way of doing it. It's ensuring that we have an economy that is pro-human, that is pro-life, as it were, not like the abortion issue, but you know what I mean. And also, I would also point out that doing this, it allows the employer to save face so they don't seem like a villain, And I know with some of them, like the pharma companies, for example, they are villains, big-time villains. But let's just say it's a Walmart or a Lowe's or a Costco or somewhere like that, Okay, well, they want to leave. The employees don't want to be thrown to the wolves. The employer helps them to start a new venture, get them rolled into it. And then once the employer leaves, they're free to do what they want. The workers who used to work at that company are now making money in their new venture. It's all good. So I really think we should be looking more into methods like that as we move forward with this workers' uprising. And we'll discuss more on that later on, including Medicare for universal health insurance. I like to say it that way now, because if workers are smart, they'll start adding that into their list of demands as they try to unionize moving forward.